You said yesterday you want to blow more leads, so
we did.
congratulations.
Yes. Perfect.
That was so mostly fueled by giving up a ton of second chance points, which
Yeah.
is a controllable.
Yeah.
Or maybe was it not a controllable tonight?
No, if you watched, what did we give up, 17? If you watched 17 of them, I'd probably say 10 of them were controllable. The thing that their pace puts a ton of pressure, and you're constantly in rotations, and anytime you're in rotations, you can't find a guy in particular. So I felt like we played hard. I just didn't think we, executed, and they put a ton of pressure with your offense. And so, we'll watch them all. But, 19 offensive rebounds, but I would say a few of them were effort plays for sure, but the rest of them was a byproduct of their motion offense and us trying to be in shifts and constantly moving us. And then that team, that's a hard-playing team. Damn.
So what goes into losing the lead and what goes into regaining your composure?
Couple things. Anytime what were we shooting? They were shooting 20-something and we were shooting 50-something from three in the first half. And so I knew that was going to even itself out at some point, But I think it just comes down to the shot margin. And so I think they got more shots than us in the third quarter. They had a 37-point third quarter. So that second and third quarter, I just didn't play well. I just didn't execute defensively. I thought we had our first shot defense was good, and then we just didn't get the rebound. And so it was kind of a back and forth game. But I liked how we regained our poise, regained our composure, and then finished game. So those are the things that we need to do,
And I just want to ask specifically about Derrick White, right at the end there, using the foul to give to stop a transition opportunity, let you guys set your defense, and then you guys get a 24-second violation out of that. I mean, it seems like a pretty smart play.
He's a genius player. He's a genius player. We've missed our foul to give call on the last 3 times we tried to use it, and credit to him for recognizing that and taking advantage of it. It's a genius play.
Joe, all these aren't going to be pretty, but is tonight pretty to you in terms of grinding out a win? 2 block shots to Derrick White on Neesmith's 3, and then Jayson, I think, on Turner.
Yeah, and the baseline out of bounds.
Yeah, that has to be, for you, aesthetically pleasing in terms of it's not splashing threes, it's not scoring.
Shot 47%.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying it's not running out.
I know.
It's not running the team out of the gym.
No, like you said, it's just the mindset of the game. And so you saw a significant difference in our fourth quarter, 21-point fourth quarter. And, you have to be able to win games with your defense. It's a tough balance for us because we always try to talk about the games connected. You can't have one without the other, but there's moments where they both have to be elite. And so I thought we had really good defense down the stretch, made some winning plays. And, that's it.
Buddy Hield kept shooting baskets at your side of the court, and he was talking to the bench and your coaching staff. What's the etiquette on –
Etiquette?
Or is there some kind of rules?
Is there a country club?
No, I'm just saying. But he's shooting baskets after timeouts.
The rule is we're supposed to go block it. That's the rule. That's the etiquette.
So it's your guy's fault?
Yes. We're supposed to block shots when the other team shoots at our basket. That's the rule.
Okay, so you got to talk to your guys about that.
Yes.
Okay.
He was form shooting in front of our bench, so I was waiting for him to go take a shot, and I would have blocked it myself, but he didn't shoot it. He was form shooting. So was he shooting at the basket or was he form shooting?
No, he was shooting at the basket.
And then we're supposed to block those.
What was going on with him and your coaching staff? Because it seemed like there was some Sam ran out there.
Yeah, it's the rule.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, that was what Sam was supposed to do.
Yes.
Okay. And then there was talk between, was it good-natured?
Yeah, it was great-natured. Buddy Hield's a great guy. He's a great-natured guy. Remember, he's the same guy that admitted to his fault at the end of the other game. Remember that? So he's a really good guy.
And he took the 3 at the end of the season tournament game.
Great guy within the rules. I love that he did that.
You do?
Yes, it's part of the rules. I mean, it's part of the game.
That's all.
Yeah.
Great talk. You talked about experimentation before the game. Tonight, when they were starting to win on the glass with that big lineup, you went to JT at the 5. You've broken that lineup out a few times so far. What have you thought of the way that lineup has worked, and what do you see as kind of application for it down the road in the playoffs?
I don't know if I don't think we've gotten enough possessions of it to kind of tell what I like and don't like about it. I think it's a comfort level of our switchability. And I think on the offensive end, it takes advantage of our speed, and it forces them to match up with a shooter or a playmaker. But I don't know if there's enough possessions to know if I like it or not. It's only been situational. I think we've only used it maybe 10 to 12 possessions. So it's something that you can get on film, you can take a look at. But what I'm looking for there is what's our switchability, what's our ability to rebound, and what's the matchups, how the other team's going to match up with us in that.
I mean, you've played, what, 5 times now against the Pacers?
Yeah.
I don't know how it's possible. But you've talked about playing their game. You're a team that likes to play that style, but obviously they do it the way no one else does it. So was that lineup, were you trying to find a way to kind of find your team's own identity that kind of fits you while you're kind of in that track meet? And how did that help?
Some of it was we were missing 2 bigs. So, like, it was an opportunity for us to look at something a little bit different while we're shorthanded, you know? And I think KP got his 3rd foul. Nimi had his initial stint, and it was like, if this is something that we want to go to at the end of the game, let's take a look at what it looks like at the end of the half so that we can see if we're comfortable with it down the stretch, you know?
Speaking of him, Keita had some 14 minutes tonight, some really huge plays that got the crowd going. What can you say? You talked about trusting him. What can you say about his performance tonight?
Yeah, it was great. We always talk about those guys have a really hard job because you never know when they're going to play 14 minutes, 2 minutes, not play at all. And especially with our defensive scheme and the way we change things up and execute, it can just be difficult. And I thought he did a tremendous job, particularly in the second half, of just making winning plays. And I was talking to him today. It's like I forget that he's only 24 and has played like 400 minutes total in an NBA game. And, so just holding him to a high standard and like what he did in that today, specifically in the second half, is kind of what I see that he could do consistently. And so it's great to have a player like him, and he's got to continue to get better.
The most points in the paint. What's the balance of wanting to attack downhill and everything that creates with also having to then defend a team that plays at the pace they do?
Like I said, they put a ton of pressure on the game itself. And so, go back and watch those again. I watched the first half offensive rebounds, and there was 4 that I thought we should have gotten. But again, the rebounding is an issue against them because of their speed and because of their ability to spread you out and because of their shooting. And so they just dribble drive. And so you're constantly off the body. And the second you're off the body, the guy cuts behind you. The second you go contest Buddy Hield, that guy cuts and goes. And so that's why I think most of them weren't effort. There was definitely a few of them, but they just put a ton of pressure with their pace on both ends of the floor. And they force you to have to play disciplined,
Thank you, Joe.
Yep.